What's going on, Bottom Line viewers? It's Dylan and Mitch. We're here for episode 2 of the Bottom Line Podcast. We were here last Friday talking about the draft, talking about first round analysis and all that stuff. If you didn't check it out, you should go check that out. It was a good podcast. Also, we played a very nice game. We're going to do that to start off today's episode as well. And we got a bunch of good topics. We're going to talk about Dave Gettleman, of course. You saw the title. Dave Gettleman is an idiot. We're going to be there with my rant of the week. We're going to talk about the best and worst drafts from certain teams because we were only able to talk about round 1 in last week. And you guys have seen all of Mitch's videos. Hopefully you have. If you haven't, go check those out. He did all the team evaluations.
They're almost all out. They're coming. Okay. Jeez.
There's a lot of work. Okay. You got 26 out right now? There's like 6 left.
Yeah, something like that.
Haven't gotten your team there. Trust me, I felt bad not being able to be in most of those, all but one, basically. So, yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about certain teams because it's just an easier way to get it grouped into one video here. We're going to talk about Tyree Kill and the scandal that he's going on and whether or not, what kind of reprimanded, I guess is the word, should be put on him. We're going to talk about the Monday Night Football commentary team, which I reacted on Twitter, but we're going to react to it here. Isaiah Crowell out for the year. We'll talk about that. And also, where should Ziggy Ansah and Ndamukong Suh play for the 2019 season? So we got some good topics today. I'm joined here with Mitch. Mitch, how you doing today?
I'm pretty good, bro. I'm actually looking at this quiz I got to take right now, and I'm like, oh, my God, I'm not going to do well on this app.
Well, I'm excited because it's a little bit of a different one. We went to a website. What's it called again? Sporticle? Sporticle?
It's called Sporkle.
Sporkle. Okay. So Sporkle here. Basically, this quiz is going to be NFL first-round draft picks from running backs 2000 to 2019. So we're basically just trying to test the knowledge of Mitch. No money here today, but this is a little bit entertaining because we're either going to prove how much you know about running backs or don't know about running backs. I think this one's harder. I'll be honest. I think this one is a lot harder.
This one's hard because there's so many busts that I'm going to forget.
A lot of busts. You're like, oh, really? He was a first-round pick? Like, oh, my goodness.
Exactly.
Sporticle, we're here. Let's go ahead and show it off there. I got you.
All right, let's get the screen share going here.
Screen share.
You see it now?
Yes, sir. I can put you on I can take it off. Okay. There we go.
It's giving me only 7 minutes. This is insane.
you have 7 minutes for 48 options. 48 options.
All right. Should I start?
Go ahead.
Oh, God. All right. Let's start with Jacobs. Okay. Let's go Michelle as my screen is effing up and I can't see. Seahawks, that's Penny, right? Then we got the Giants, that's Saquon. No. Okay.
There you go. The good thing is you only have to put one name in there, it looks like. There he goes. Elliott.
McCaffrey. Jaguars, Fournette.
There you go. 7.
Chargers. I might have to pause this. This is hard, man. To do this fast. Rams, Gurley. And I'm not a fast typer either. Giants, 2012.
Oh, that's a tough one. Wow, there wasn't any from 2013 or 2014. So
2011, Ingram.
There you go.
Browns, 2011. That's Richardson, right?
Yes, the number 3 pick. The
Bucs in 2012?
I don't even know that, honestly.
It's not Ronald Jones.
Hey.
Yeah, that's hard. I got to skip that for a sec. Where Gordon was... Oh, I already did Gordon. Only 10 Chargers picked a running back in the first round? They stink. All right. Let's see if any more. I know for a fact Joseph Adai, Maroney.
Hey, now we're going to the old school.
Williams. Okay, 2 Williams. I got 2 with that.
Ooh, yeah.
Bills in 2007. I think that's Lynch.
Yes, it was.
Vikings 2007. That's Peterson.
I like how you just got Cadillac Williams because you just put Williams.
Yeah. Saints. Oh, that's Bush. Bears. They didn't pick Forte in the first round, but they picked somebody, right? I'm just gonna put Forte, but I don't think that's it. 2005. I think one of the Jones. I knew
Kevin Jones, bro. That's bullshit. You got 3 off that. Felix Jones. What a G.
Isn't Lendell White a first round pick, or am I losing my shit?
I think you're losing it.
Colts.
4.5 minutes.
Bro, this is hard.
It's very hard. And 22 is pretty good, though. I gotta say.
Lions 2010. They picked a running back and they couldn't run for 100 yards.
Well, hold on. He might have. I'm trying to think.
Steven Jackson.
Yeah, Steven Jackson, boy from the St. Louis Rams.
Was Rudy Johnson one? Did I already put Johnson as the name? No. Okay.
I think.
Oh, Larry Johnson. Okay. Chris Johnson.
And Chris Johnson. That was an easy one.
Evan Jones. I got that one. Bengals 2004.
You are over halfway in the mix, but you got a little more than half. It is hard.
Vikings 2001. Are you kidding? They don't have anybody. Bennett? Oh!
Michael Bennett. Wow. The
Tomlinson.
Oh, of course.
Ricky Williams.
You've gotten so far. I'm going to be honest with you.
Ricky Williams? No? Or did I already get that?
Oh, well, Ricky Williams was like 98.
Oh, okay. 2000.
Now you just got a cherry pick here. You got 21 left.
Yeah, I have no idea. Okay. Steelers in 08. Is that Willie Parker? No. Oh, Mendenhall. Is it Mendenhall? Mendenhall.
Bard Mendenhall. Yeah.
2009 Broncos. Can I pause this or no? Am I not allowed?
You can get a pause at 2 minutes.
Okay. Broncos. Fuck. I don't know. Broncos. Not David Johnson, obviously. Cardinals running backs. There's one, but I can't think of his name. That's the problem. Like, I can't think of these guys' names. Oh, Chargers. Who's that guy that always got hurt all the time? Matthews.
Oh, I know. Right? I know, yeah. No, wow.
What?
Ryan Matthews is the guy, but...
Yeah, is he not?
Okay. He's not. Well, I don't think he was a first rounder. I think he was a second rounder.
Lions? No, I don't know, man. Bears 2005. Dolphins 2005. Oh, Ronnie Brown. Donald Brown. Donald Brown was a first round pick.
Donald Brown. That's good. Okay.
I don't think Warwick Dunn was. No, okay.
You can use your pause if you want to.
All right. I don't know. Oh, pause. Okay.
Yeah, I just won't show you the rest of it. Wow, that sucks because you can't even look at the teams.
I can't look at it, so I got to resume for a second. Bills, Falcons, Browns. Okay. Browns in 2002. That's like the most difficult thing I could think of.
Of course, Party would say Donald Brown wasn't bad.
Bills in 2002. McGahee, right? It has to be, right?
I can't be here.
I would think so. Okay.
There you go. Nice. That was a good one.
Atlanta
2002.
I just got to start thinking of good running backs. That's what I got to do. Portis. Yep. Holmes wasn't one. Go through the teams.
He's not using the chat here. I can't tell him anything about the chat.
Yeah, that's hard. Who are the Bell? No, not Le'Veon, but the guy on the Broncos.
Yeah.
Bengals. Man, this.
I will say this is a pretty good outing though. Even if you get stopped.
Chicago Bears.
60 seconds left.
Seahawks. Alexander. Yes.
There you go. Nice.
Rams. Not. Like they only had Jackson and Falk. So, like, who the heck else did they have?
That's what I'm wondering, honestly.
Giants, bust. Oh, no.
Wow. No, Rondé or Tiki. Tiki would have been
Baltimore Ravens.
I think it was a little before. I think 20 seconds right now.
Cardinals.
It's like, oh wow, his screen just froze for a minute. No. Oh, don't tell me no. Don't tell me he messed up. Where'd he go? No. No, this is not good. This is not good because then we have to wait for all the results. His computer just restarted in the middle of the quiz for no reason. So that's great, and I can't pause anything. Let me try to. He's Mitch cheating. You're right, John. I'm gonna try to. Let me see if I can guess any of these. There are a lot of hard answers. I hope honestly that they like saved on here. If not, I'm gonna just take a picture and then so we can have the full answers here. Hopefully that took the picture there. I don't know what to. I don't know what to say. I don't know how it just canceled out. Oh, there he goes. He's gone. So, yeah, that was nice. Hopefully our guy is back, and hopefully it shows the results. That's like the biggest thing. That's kind of what I'm wondering for. Stars Game 5 is tonight. It's not football at all, but I'm excited for that. Big Stars fan. I've been watching a lot this year. You know, on there. The screen is going to reappear with all the answers. Well, he only had 18 more seconds, so it's not like he was going to get. I don't think he was going to get any more, but 32 out of 48. I hope he gets back on. You know, we're live. We're live. What's 32 divided by 48? I got to find out that. 32 divided by 48. He got 60. He got 2/3. He got 2/3 of it correct, so I got to give him credit there. He'll get back on any minute, and then we'll figure it all out. I guess we'll cherry pick the 16 we don't have correct here, but I was impressed. You got everything 2015 on, and then there's a couple in that section. I don't really know who did the Giants draft in like 2010. Was it Ahmad Bradshaw? Was Ahmad Bradshaw a first round pick? Hold on a second. I need to know that for a fact. Ahmad Bradshaw. He can't be right. That was a 7th round pick. Well, hell no. But who the hell would have been? Big Stars Game tonight means big live stream potentially. Yes, indeed, John. Indeed. I don't like the start time though. It's at 8:30 Central. Like, who does that benefit? Nobody. Yeah, Matt Bradshaw was in 2007. You see, he's commentating, but is he going to come back on? I need him to come back on. He's the guest. He's the one that helps the show. I mean, you know what I mean. He's cheating. He's getting all the answers. See, guys, but there's no prize here. By the way, I do want to tell everybody that I got a couple of guests in line for future podcast appearances. I don't want to do them every episode because that's not like the thing, and also it's off season, so it's not as there's not as much headlines going on as there would normally be in a regular season. So I want to get the guys on, some of those guys on for when the season starts. But I got like 5 or 6 people I want to line up for guest spots later on in the year. So if you guys can think of any as well, leave them out in the comment section. I've already got names, so if I already know somebody in there. Was Doug Martin a first rounder? I know that was one of the names that was brought up a couple of times. Doug Martin. Yeah, he was a first rounder. Wow, by the Bucks. And I think he's back. Is Mitch back? He's back.
This computer is messing with my mojo. I was about to go on a tear, bro.
Oh yeah, with 15 seconds left?
Yeah.
So did it save the results or no?
No, because it went right off the screen. Like as soon I was in doing the quiz, and then it just went off. Like it restarted.
Okay,
But
so
I know that it went back. I had at least 32 out of 48.
32.
At least.
Yes,
Yeah.
32 correct. Let's go back on there and see what the 16 were. One name that was brought up was Doug Martin. I know you didn't get
I
that.
think that's right. I forgot Eddie Lacy was one of them. I should have remembered that.
Eddie Lacy was a second round pick.
Was it not Eddie Lacy first round pick?
No, he was a second rounder.
Oh. Well, then I would have got that wrong. But whatever. Wait, was there one in like 2000? Was Ryan? No, Ryan Grant was later, right? I was trying to figure out the Packers one. Not Amon Green, maybe. I don't know. What?
Maybe. You're going back on there, right?
Yeah, I guess. Do you want me to just show the results, or?
Yeah, just show all of them. I know it's gonna say 0 for 48 or whatever, but we'll pick and see which ones we don't know for sure.
Okay. See, once I show you, I'll probably remember them, but.
Some of them, I mean, just from getting the last name, I'm like, I couldn't even remember it. Okay. You can see my face in 5 times the quality. Okay. So
can you see it now?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. What do you want me to put in?
Just play the quiz and then just like say give up. I think there's like a give up button on there somewhere, right?
Where is it?
Yeah. It's on the bottom of
All right. Jamal Lewis was one in 2000. I thought he was earlier. That's why I never guessed it. Thomas Jones, I think I got because I guessed Jones.
Ron Dane.
Ron Dane, I would have never gotten.
No.
I'll be honest.
Who the hell is Chung Candidate? Who?
Yeah, I would have never got that. I would have eventually got McAllister.
Yeah.
William Green, I would have never gotten. I got Bennett, which I was impressed. TJ Duckett, okay.
TJ Duckett.
Not really a first round name, but I might have got that eventually if it took me forever, but I might have got that. Chris Perry. Oh.
Cincinnati Bengals. That's not one you're gonna a lot of people are gonna get. So
okay. Why do I keep echoing?
I don't know.
I was echoing before too. Maybe mute yourself and then come back on. Larry Johnson, I got. Willis McGahee, I got. Steven Jackson, I got. Kevin Jones, I got. Ronnie Brown, I got. Cedric Benson, that was it.
Oh,
Cedric Benson. Yeah. Cadillac Williams, I got. Reggie Bush, Lawrence Maroney, yep. D'Angelo Williams, Joseph Adai, Adrian Peterson, Marshawn Lynch, I got all those. Darren McFadden, I forgot about him.
McFadden, the boy.
Jonathan Stewart, I got. Felix Jones, I got. Rashard Menahal, Chris Johnson. No Sean Marino, I forgot him.
Yeah.
Donald Brown. Beanie Wells, I would have forgot completely.
CJ.
It was Ryan Matthews.
What? Then why didn't they give it?
Oh, but he's with one T. Freaking game. Are you kidding me? CJ Spiller. Okay, Javad Best, I would have forgot completely.
That's great.
David Wilson would have forgot that completely as well. But Doug Martin, I would have gotten eventually. Mark Ingram, I got. Trent Richardson, I got. Todd Gurley. I got all those names.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was a few like I wouldn't have got. I probably wouldn't have got at the end of the day if you gave me any time available without looking at cheating. I probably would have got like 4 wrong.
There was a couple in there. I'm like, who in the
heck? Dane Candidate, William Green.
Sean Candidate.
That's probably, and maybe Chris Perry. I would have completely forgot because Chris Perry got hurt like really early in his career.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
that's tough.
It's going to show you like all the different names you can have on this board. So, well, there you go, guys. 32 of 48 officially with 8 minutes, but still a lot of good stuff there. So you get to see all the first round picks, all the stuff that Mitch knows. So good game. Like that, the fans were into it. They were trying to give you his help.
Yeah,
give it to you. But there you go.
Maybe I should look at the chat next time. And yeah, but they would probably screw me up. I heard them putting a bunch of wrong answers in the chat.
Well, some of them were trying to help you. Jamal Lewis was answered like 5 different times.
I thought that Jamal Lewis was around earlier than 2000.
Yeah, I thought
that's why
99, 98, but I guess 2000.
Yeah.
Answer. They also said you were cheating a lot.
I was not cheating at
based
all.
on you leaving, you were cheating.
Oh, well, I couldn't because my computer was off. But whatever.
Well, that was a good start to the podcast, even with the technical difficulties. Apologize to that. But now we're here to our headline segments where we talk about those 6 things we talked about. And I want to start off, Mitch, with Dave Gettleman, the boy, the general manager of the New York Giants. This is also going to be part of my rant of the week because I have a lot of things to say. I don't know if you want to join in here, but I got a lot of things to say. So, you know Dave Gettleman. You guys know who he is. He was a big instrumental part in drafting Daniel Jones, number 6 overall. If you haven't heard us talk about it in the last 8 days, I don't know, you haven't been near a computer, you haven't watched the show because we've been talking about him a lot. You don't think it's worth the pick. You think he's going to be a bust. He's basically picked because Eli loves him, that kind of thing. But Dave Gettleman is really good at one thing in particular, talking. Not very good at what he says, but he's very good at opening his mouth and saying words. And in the last 7 days, I think he's put his own foot in his mouth a lot. So he comes up to the podium. You know, he's being asked about his first-round draft picks, how he feels about Dexter Lawrence and DeAndre Baker, but it doesn't matter about them. It matters about Daniel Jones. And he says he could wait 3 years to be on starting for the Giants. Excuse me? Really?
Eli. He'll realize they have the great Eli Manning, bro. He's in his prime right now.
His prime.
Did you see him play last year?
I did quite a bit. And I can tell you from experience that he is absolute garbage, right? If you're talking 2007, 2011 Eli Manning, okay, I'm fine. You don't even really need to get this guy. But it is 2019. His skills have diminished so far beyond expectations for an MVP quarterback, a Super Bowl MVP quarterback, and a guy that's, you know, helped this franchise. And now you're telling me he's going to have to wait 3 years. What's the point? What is the point of getting Daniel Jones then? If he's going to wait 3 years, go get somebody else in the next year, you know, whatever. And then he says, in 3 years, I'm going to be proven right. Like, I'm either going to be proven right or wrong. No, you're not, because if he's going to be on the bench for 3 years, how can you be proven right? He's just going to be there doing nothing but be Eli's ball boy.
You know what he's trying to do? He's trying to extend his career.
What, Dave Gettleman is?
Yes.
He's saying
you can't properly judge me until Daniel Jones gets in there. That's what he's saying.
But if he's on the bench for 3 years, how is he going to be?
Exactly. You can't judge him. So he's saying, I'm going to put Daniel Jones on the bench. I'm going to tell my coach, you can't do it. You're not going to get fired. Don't worry. But you can't do it because I'm trying to extend my career here. And you can't properly judge me until my quarterback gets in there.
So it's a double-edged sword. It doesn't matter what way it falls. He's gonna get this window, which I think is bullshit. But and another thing that bothers me as well is that he said, we were talking about this as the live stream was going on last week, that you could have gotten Daniel Jones somewhere else. You could have got him with the number 17 pick at the very least. There was not going to be a team that was going to get him. According to Mr. Gettleman, you know, the man that knows everything, there was 2 teams that were going to pick him before the number 17 pick. Apparently, those sources say it was the Broncos and the Redskins. I call heavy bullshit on that for 2 reasons. One, the Redskins always liked Dwayne Haskins more than Daniel Jones. They always had him higher. It never seemed like they were going to get Daniel Jones in the first place because they probably thought that the Giants were going to get him anyways, and they just liked what Dwayne Haskins had more. And then the Broncos, they traded back so many times. They traded the number 10 pick to go to number 20, and then in the second round had the 40th pick, got an offensive tackle, and then got Drew Lock with the 40th or 41st pick, whatever. So they waited a long time to get a quarterback. They had no intention of getting a first-round quarterback like Daniel Jones. And you know John Elway was infatuated with Drew Lock. Loves the arm, loves the talent. It's like
I don't know, though, because he didn't pick him till the second round.
Well, maybe he's trying to be a better general manager or maybe he was waiting because the first-round picks that we've seen from him are not very good.
Maybe it was a very well-calculated guess.
Mm-hmm. But it was better than, you know, getting him with the 10th pick.
Oh, of course it was, but who knew that he was going to be around that long is the question.
Yeah, no, it was a great value, even though I'm not the biggest fan of Drew Lock. I still think getting him number 40th or 41st, whatever it was great value. But the thing is that Dave Gettleman wants us to believe that those two teams were ahead of him, so they had to take him number 6. Bullshit. I call absolute bullshit. So the thing here, Giants fans, jump the bandwagon. The Jets are there. They are building a young team. I don't think their coaching is great with Adam Gase, but they've got young talent, okay? And they're actually putting 1 foot forward instead of like 8 feet backwards. I think that is a good step in the right direction. And when the divisions come into it, I think the Jets are going to be in a much better position than the Giants are. And I've heard rumors that there are going to only be 3 NFC East teams because the NFL has not allowed the Giants. They're too dumb to be legally allowed in the NFL. So with that in mind, Dave Gettleman, stop feeding me this. I know you're trying to tell me Daniel Jones is your quarterback, but you keep coming out here and telling the people stuff they don't want to hear. Not even positive things about it. Just, hey, I felt this was the right decision. I don't need an edge rusher in the deepest class of edge rushers in years. No, I don't need Josh Allen. Are you kidding me? The Jaguars are not going to benefit from him. We're going to benefit from Daniel Jones, a.k.a. Eli 0.5. So I don't know what you want to say here. I don't know if anybody out there is a Giants fan, whatever it is. I feel bad for you, honestly. I really do. The kid's going to have time, but his general manager is nonstop doing this and not doing anything really to help the team. So,
but I find Gettleman so entertaining, though.
Oh, he's very entertaining.
He's the only general manager in the NFL that I'll actually watch his press conference.
Well, it's like LeVar Ball, right? He's so dumb in his ideas, like in all the stuff, but it's just really entertaining to be like, man, this guy, he just won't shut up. But it also makes you a little mad too, because you're like, bro, it's not important. It's not that we don't need your input like that. So he's entertaining, and as a Cowboys fan, I'm like, let's go, Dave Gettleman for president, whatever it is. But as an NFL fan, I'm like, dude, stop, please.
Can I transition into another NFC East topic?
Okay.
So this is like the difference to me between what the Eagles are doing and what everyone else in the NFC East and a lot of teams in the NFL are doing in general. The Washington Redskins overpaid Zach Brown in free agency last year, and they were by far the team that outbid everybody for his services. And then the Philadelphia Eagles 1 year later, after he has one of his best years of his career, after the Redskins release him because he's too much money, they sign him to a 1 year contract with $3 million and get a starting middle linebacker and replace Jordan Hicks, who left the door for way more money. The Eagles are so much far ahead of every other NFC East team in terms of management, in terms of deals, in terms of trades, and knowing value of picks, knowing values of players. I really think like the Eagles are one of these teams that aren't getting enough credit for how they are managing their team, from Howie Roseman, from Doug Peterson. Like, their management is amazing. Like, as much as we talk about the Patriots and a team like that, like the Eagles are right there with them in terms of just knowing the value and being ahead of the game in terms of the modern day NFL and how to structure a team and how to structure contracts and how to get, the most out of players and how to take like $8 million off this guy's contract and put $8 million here and put $8 million there. Like, they're doing such a good job. And Zach Brown is just the biggest example of that. He was ranked 3rd overall last season by Pro Football Focus at the middle linebacker position. He had a better coverage grade and run grade than Jordan Hicks, who left for more money. I know that Pro Football Focus isn't like the end-all be-all, but that at least tells you something. And to me, like, this is a player that's athletic. He's fast, sideline to sideline. He's got the speed. He's still got the strength. He's great against the run, great in pursuit. He's a good leader on defense. Now, I don't think he's quite as good as Jordan Hicks in terms of coverage, but you basically fill a huge need on a 1 year contract worth $3 million. That's practically nothing. So I just want to say, like, that's an amazing deal by the Philadelphia Eagles to get Zach Brown. He's a great player. I think he's going to have an immediate impact. And again, the Eagles are looking like, I think they're the most talented team in the NFC. I don't know where you stand on that, Dylan.
I don't know about that claim. They are a very good team in terms of what you were saying. I do heavily agree with that. Don't forget my Cowboys. But in terms of their management with their money, they don't put a whole lot of remember when they were so underneath the cap in 2018, or coming into here, they were very underneath the cap. They needed to, or not underneath, they were over the cap. They really needed to lose some money, get some stuff out of there because it wasn't doing all that good for them. And then they were able to get rid of all that and get these really good players for very cheap. I think they need to help a little bit with the secondary and stuff like that. But I think they've done a pretty good job for the most part at managing the talent on a money basis because it's the Eagles. They just won the Super Bowl 2 seasons ago. So managing a Super Bowl winning team and having to keep most of those guys on the roster and not giving expensive contracts and not having to deal with the roadblocks that most Super Bowl teams have to deal with right after, I think it was a pretty good step in the right direction. And it's going to be an interesting race for the NFC East, and it's going to be an interesting race overall. Talent-wise, I don't know if they're the most talented. I would definitely put them in the top 5. I just don't know about number 1. But it's also the NFC is so wide open that you could maybe see them miss the playoffs. There's so many good teams that are in that race.
I think the only way they miss the playoffs is Carson Wentz gets hurt again.
Yeah, because they don't have a backup to lean on this time.
Well, Nate Sudfeld, I do kind of like, but I don't think he would be able to get to the playoffs. But I think he would be able to win them games. I don't know if he would be able to win them all the way to the playoffs.
But Carson Wentz's injury is a concern. This is the last 2 seasons where he's had multiple. The ACL injury was a freak accident, whatever. But those back injuries, those could be very lingering. I'm not saying anything here, but you never know. But the NFC East is going to be competitive this year, at least with the Cowboys and maybe the Redskins. We talked about how sneaky they could be. But also there's a lot of good teams in that NFC that can knock them down. I don't remember their schedule off the top of the head, but yeah, I like them. I got to say, I got to appreciate what the team's doing as a Cowboys fan.
And looking at just the linebacker position, that was their biggest weakness to me. And they add a player like Zach Brown, who was so effective last year for Washington, and maybe Redskins fans don't want to believe that, but he comes into Philadelphia and instant starter beside Nigel Bradham. They still have Grugier Hill, who played a lot last year. Paul Warlow's coming back from injury. They have LJ Fort. So they have better depth at that position. It was their weakest position before they signed Zach Brown, and now it's a position that has some depth to it. And now they virtually have no real holes on defense. You would still look at their corner spot and still be like, it's not ideal in terms of they don't have a shutdown corner or anything like that, but it's not necessarily a weakness either. So once again, this defense is going to be very good. And once again, I think this team is going to be very good. Just adding Zach Brown is another instance why I think I need to keep giving them credit for what they're doing, especially Howie Roseman, who's one of the top 3 GMs in the NFL right now.
What was the hate from the middle of the year? That's gone, or the middle of the last season?
Last year was a different season.
Oh, it was in the middle of the 48-7 game with a lot of heat. I thought it was funny
because they weren't playing well.
So that it was real rants. It wasn't just I don't like them.
Because they weren't playing well. What do you want me to say?
I'm just asking.
I'm just giving them credit for how they've been able to maneuver this offseason, more from a general manager standpoint, and be able to put the pieces in place. Now, the pieces still have to go on the field and play football. That's a different story. Last year, I felt like they weren't playing the way that they were capable of, and I felt like their hype of being Super Bowl champions was taking over them until Nick Foles got on the field. They settled down. They realized that they needed to put everything on the line to get back to the playoffs, and they finally played like a team. Last year, they weren't doing that. Now, all those pieces are in place, even more so than last year. I feel like they're probably even a better team than last year on paper. So going into this year, I just think, just those little moves like Zach Brown, bringing back Tim Jernigan on a cheap contract, getting Malik Jackson, then, signing Andrew Sendejo, trading for Deshaun Jackson, trading for Jordan Howard. Like all these moves have been so effective, but yet they're not killing the bank. They're filling their team and needs without necessarily having to break their bank, which a lot of other teams, like the Redskins, for example, are doing.
Where do you realistically see them in the NFC landscape this year? You think?
I think they're the best team in the NFC right now.
Okay, high praise from Mitch.
Yeah.
All right, so there you go. There was a little bonus topic for the Eagles here. Let's get to something that I find quite interesting here. When I saw this on Twitter a couple of days ago, the Monday Night Football commentary team. Now, Jason Witten is gone. The experiment with Joe Test.
This is your favorite topic.
I love this topic because it is terrible. And I know I don't want to gravitate towards negativity, but in this sense, I mean, it's fascinating. So the Joe Tessitore, Jason Witten, and Booger from the sidelines on his big old seat, whatever it was, no more. Jason Witten has unretired. I think he was about to get fired because he literally called Eric Ebron Patrick Mahomes' favorite target in the Pro Bowl. They don't play for the same team. And now they have decided, you know what? No Peyton Manning, no Matt Hasselbeck, no nothing, no replacement. All we're doing is Joe Tessitore still there. We're going to have Booger as an analyst, and Lisa Salters is going to be on the field. This sounds terrible. Why?
So wait, it's Tessitore, Booger,
and Lisa and then Lisa on the sidelines.
How did they watch the broadcast last year and were like, hey, you know what would be good? If we just took Booger out of that stupid machine thing that he's sitting on and just put him in the booth. Like that chemistry was off the charts. Like who was thinking that at all? Like bring in some guys like that are out there that are doing their thing, that are having success, especially with the younger audience who you're trying to pull on Monday nights. Because like everybody watches Sunday night, but kind of turn that tide. You need to get, I know Monday Night Football is still like the highest rated show on Mondays, but at the same time, it doesn't pull nearly the same as Sunday Night Football. I almost feel like they should put bigger personalities on, and I know they're different companies, ESPN and NBC, but they should almost try and put their biggest personalities on Monday Night Football to get that extra pull when the games aren't as sexy as they are on Sunday night.
Yeah. Well, and the quality of Monday Night Football games has gone down like almost drastically. I think last year was a good rebound from 2017, but like, Sunday Night Football is always the big one. Ever since it came into 06. And then Al Michaels, who was on Monday Night Football, now on Sunday Night Football, commenting all those games. And there's been a lot of great ones over the years.
No one even knows Booger.
No.
Nobody knows these guys. Like,
no. Because, okay, look at the quality of the talent like the last 6 years.
Gruden was good.
Did you say Gruden?
Gruden was solid. Like, he was entertaining.
Well, I think Gruden and Mike Tirico was a great group.
I do too.
I think that was a very underrated duo in terms of the broadcast team. But ever since then, it's like, okay, Mike Tirico's gone off to NBC, so now we got Sean McDermott and Sean Gruden, excuse me. That was fine. I didn't like McDermott as much. I'm thinking Sean McDermott. Well, what's his name? Is it McDermott? I can't think of his name.
McDermott, I think, yeah, but it's not
Sean. Yeah, it's not Sean McDermott, but I can't.
I think it was. I don't know. I can't even remember, dude. These guys are so forgettable.
So, but he's now at college football, which they moved him for absolutely no reason. Then you got Joe Tessitore, Jason Witten, which was just the worst duo together, and Booger, freaking Booger. If you listen to what he would say on regular occasions, it would be almost as stupid as what.
Why didn't they get like Nate Burleson or something?
Right? You don't think they would be expensive contracts? Like these can't be like you don't even need a big player. I love Peyton Manning, would have been great, but you don't even need to get a guy like Peyton Manning, who's I don't think under contract with ESPN, even though he has a series. Like there's got to be somebody out there. And plus, with all the NFL shows like NFL Live and stuff like that, you have NFL talent. There's somebody there. Hell, a guy like Ray Lewis would have been great, or say somebody. We're getting Booger McFarland. Booger. And just go back and watch Monday Night Football for 5 minutes and listen to what Booger.
Why don't they get Gronk?
That would be amazing.
That'd be hilarious.
That would be hilarious. But again, I don't know what.
How much would it cost to get Gronk?
A couple mil, like a good mil.
A lot of money, I think.
A lot of money. Because I don't know what he's doing
Did
next.
you see Gronk on the Billboard Awards?
As a security guard?
He was like a security guard, and then he did a couple. He was on the show a lot.
It's weird. I didn't get to really see it, but I was just like, what is this guy doing? Like, but it just baffles me. Maybe what we were talking about on Twitter could happen. We need somebody to fill in those shoes, because who wants to listen to Joe Tessitore and Booker? Okay, nobody wants to. So we'll keep that in mind. But I just want to react to that, because that saddens me as somebody that wants to watch primetime football games with good commentary, and I can't rely on that. And ESPN clearly has the assets to change it. They're not going to. So I guess we have to find a solution to it. Okay. Next up here on our list, let's talk about Tyree Kill. This is, again, not very positive situation. I apologize, but sometimes that's what happens with football. So Tyree Kill, you guys know what's going on with him. The whole scandal, the whole audio leaks came out the day of the draft. Which everything happens. Something happens every year right at the draft. Usually it's with the draft player, but this time it was with Tyree Kill. The audio came out of him talking to his wife, being really disturbing stuff here. And now he's on suspension, or he's exempt from the team. He can't participate in any on-and-field activities. He can't be near the team, whatever. They apparently, it looked like they drafted his replacement in the draft in the second round. I believe, was it Harmon? I believe that was the
Hardman, yes.
Harmon, yeah. Mecole Hardman. So, with that being said, is Tyree Kill done? Do you think Tyree Kill is done?
Well, the thing that's interesting about him is that he kind of this is his second chance, kind of, because his second chance was already at the draft when he was under that whole domestic abuse situation. That's why he fell in the draft. That's why he was available for the Chiefs. So then when the Chiefs selected him, it was almost like they were giving him a second chance. So obviously, if his whole situation looks as bad as it doesn't appear like he's going to be playing for the Chiefs this season, in my opinion. Maybe the NFL just suspends him for like half the year. I hope they do more than that. I hope it's more aggressive than that, because like I said, this is a second chance. Like, he's already had his first chance. He's come back. He didn't appear to do anything for quite a while, I don't think. And then now has been accused of this. So I think that it at least should go through. Like, I don't even think it's entirely gone through the process, but really the way I'm looking at it now, if he is gone, are the Chiefs a playoff team still? Like, I think the Chiefs completely change. Like, we completely change the way we look at the Chiefs if Tyree Kill is not playing for them this year. Me personally.
I don't think so. I think it's more like when we get to the playoffs, I still think they're going to be a playoff team regardless. The thing is that it's a very difficult subject to think about. But in terms of the on-field production, which I'll talk about here, I think the Chiefs are still structured to be a really good set team. They have their players. It's just about how they can use it in different ways. Because their coaching is still one of the best in the league. And I know they're losing a really great and speedy guy like Tyree Kill. But if Harmon could come in there and fill in the role decently enough. I mean, I don't think he's going to come in here and put a Tyree Kill numbers or 50-yard catches all the time, but at least fill the role sufficiently. And then you got the MVP quarterback in Patrick Mahomes. I still think they're going to do well. Now, there come playoff time when defenses are going to be able to see that and realize they don't have to deal with that, so they can focus on more stuff in the inside. Like, okay, here we got Travis Kelce. We need to stop him first and foremost, or stop the running game, put more pressure on Mahomes. I think that might be more of the challenge, but I still think they're going to be a quality playoff team in the future. Now, in terms of their suspension, I think he should be suspended a year at least. I mean, this guy should honestly be considered for a ban for life because of how extreme this is. I'm just hoping the NFL does due diligence with this. They take their time. They do this right investigation. because we've seen it plenty of times before where they've had tons of evidence thrown right in their face and they have completely ignored anything. Ray Rice, here you go. There's this big video that goes worldwide, public and everything. 2-game suspension. But Brady, buddy, you're getting a 4-game suspension. You got those deflated footballs. Doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, right? Like Josh Gordon, you're smoking weed, right? Suspended indefinitely. Like, what? But you can beat your wife or you can break your son's arm. Like, how does that make any sense to any normal human being? So that's the past. I'm not going to judge them on their future things. I will say that those were terrible decisions, but they have to change it for the future. They have to do what's right, make sure this case is well, and if it is proven that he did so, I think he should be banned for life. That is my opinion.
I disagree with Kevin Durcan. I think the Chargers are more likely to make the playoffs than the Chiefs. That's just me, though. I think they're more well-rounded as a team. They have a top 10 defense. They have a top 10 offense. They still have Phillip Rivers, even though he might decline a little bit. I don't really see where they got worse this offseason. I only saw where they got better. Really,
I don't know if they're right around the same level to me. I don't think
I'm just looking at the way that Tyree Kill impacts the whole entire offense. I don't think a rookie is just going to come in there right away. They're going to have a huge season from Sammy Watkins because he's going to be the guy that they're going to really have to count on. Yeah, I know they have Travis Kelce, but as the downfield threat, Hardman's a rookie. He's raw. He's not going to be a guy to really put up huge numbers. He might make some plays here and there throughout a course of a game, but it's not going to be like Tyree Kill, and he's not going to impact the way a defense plays against you. Look at how the Patriots played him in the AFC Championship. They basically doubled him the entire game, which helps the entire offense. So I don't know. And they lost Mitch Morse on the offensive line. I just think the offense is definitely going to take a step back. It's going to be up for the defense with their additions of Frank Clark and Alex Okafor and Tyrann Mathieu to really step up and play better defense. Because if their defense is anywhere similar to the way it was last year, I don't know if they're going to be able to keep the pace.
It's it's a difference in that. If their defense can step up, then I will give them the bigger grade than maybe you per se. But if their defense plays like 2018, they're not going to have that much success because they were just the worst. And the only reason they won so many games with that terrible defense is because of all the production. I think they got better. I know they lost a couple of key pieces. And they released Justin Houston and stuff like that. But I think their defense will step up. It's just, can Hardman fill in the role? I'm not asking him to break world records or anything, but fill in that role nicely and play well for Mahomes, who I think can throw to just about anybody. He can throw to any target and just make sure that he has enough time and the offense can continue because they still have great coaching. That hasn't changed. I just hope their defense steps up in order to balance it out. So that's how I feel about that. Last subject I want to get to before we get into the comments and then head out of here. Ziggy Ansah and Ndamukong Suh here. We have two guys that haven't been signed yet, two veteran players that have seen their best days probably come and go. I don't know. It's a little questionable. What do you think about Ziggy Ansah? I think Ndamukong Suh's best days are still doing pretty well, just not at the great peak.
He was dominant in the playoffs.
He was very good in the playoffs. I will give him that. Ziggy Ansah, I've seen quite a bit of downturn in the last season or two. I don't know about you, but I just have not been impressed with him whatsoever. But there's still two free agents that I think teams are going to be knocking on come training camp, something like that. So where do you think these two guys are going to land up here?
Where have they visited anywhere yet?
I think they did when free agency started, but I don't think they have in the last month or so.
Okay, if I'm really looking at it, I think for Ziggy Ansah, I think just going through the teams, I think the Raiders would probably be a team that would take interest in him because as much as they drafted Kellen Furl and they have Arden Key, they still need a veteran presence on the edge, so they could use him there. I think that a team like possibly Not the Browns. I mean, maybe the Bengals, but I don't really think they're interested in taking a veteran. The Bills would be interesting because I think he fits the defense, he fits the scheme, and they've been a team that have been kind of like everybody's been saying that they need an edge rusher. So maybe the Bills, and they're also a team that could be around the playoff conversation that are looking to add just a couple more pieces to help them hopefully get there. In the NFC, I think that's tough because the Lions aren't taking him back. The Panthers drafted Burns in the first round, so I don't think they're going to be looking. Maybe Atlanta, maybe the Saints. I don't really see many destinations for him. Maybe I'm missing one that's obvious. Possibly the Giants don't make sense because of their defensive scheme. I think it's between those teams. The Raiders, I'll throw the Bengals in there, the Bills, I guess the Jets because they don't really have edge rushers. Throw in the Atlanta Falcons, the New Orleans Saints, and those would be the destinations I would think would be the top destinations for Ziggy.
Okay. I like that. I think it's a very limited group of people that he's going to be playing for. But given his presence, if he can get anything near his 2015 season, I think he'll be a benefit. I just think he wants to play for a better team. I'm going to go with the Bills. I think that is that's the best quality team that I think he's going to get to. That's just my opinion. In terms of Ndamukong Suh, where do you think he's going? I do have a list of 7 teams.
All right, throw them out.
Okay. So CBS Sports, this is a 7-1. They got the Falcons at number 7. Grady Jarrett signed his franchise tag, but after the season, next season, maybe something happens there. They put Suh in there. That's some nice depth. 6, the Giants. They did draft Dexter.
I don't think he'll sign there.
I don't think he will either, but plus they don't have a whole lot of cap, but they just threw that in there.
Yeah.
Number 5, the Patriots. How do you feel about that one?
I think that makes sense. Even though I don't know if it would happen, but I think it does make sense because they didn't really address that position in the draft. I think both of their interior players right now are extremely underrated, Lawrence Guy and Mike Pennell. But I think they could add Suh because you never know. They have the salary to do so, and they're a winning team that I think Suh would play for. But I don't know necessarily if they would be willing to give him as much money as he wants. I think it's going to have to take time for him to lower his price if he wants to go there.
That's true. Yeah.
I think it would be a 1-year contract if he goes to the Patriots.
Yeah, definitely. Number 4, the Cowboys.
That's actually the team that I predicted before the offseason started.
I like it personally, and considering Tristan Hill, I said in the draft analysis, isn't going to be probably being a big player this year. If it's going to be a 1 or 2 year contract, I think it would work perfectly well.
The only thing that does have me a little bit like, ooh, I don't know about it, is because they did sign Christian Covington.
Yeah, that's true. I think if it's about the Cowboys, it's all about the contract. Just depends on how much you want to put in stock into that. 3, Seattle Seahawks. They lost Frank Clark. Michael Bennett's long gone. Cliff Averill is retiring from injury. I know they did get L.J. Collier, but maybe it just helps out on the D-line. What do you think about the Seahawks?
I think this makes sense because Jerron Reed is also a little bit banged up, and he's kind of their stud in the interior. They don't really have much else there. They're very lacking in depth on the defensive line, so that does make a lot of sense. Plus, it's still the West Coast, and I think Stu said he would like to stay on the West Coast, and I think he would love a coach like Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson as quarterback, so I think it does make some sense, yeah.
Yeah. Number 2, the Titans. I think this would be an interesting one, if anything else. I don't know if he would want to play there, but I think this would be an interesting one.
It's interesting because they did draft Jeffrey Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
So
he won't play this year. So
yeah, I mean maybe. I kind of see him going to I don't know. I don't think he'll go to the top. I just don't know. I can't see Suh there. Can you?
I can't feel it. Like I can see the reason for it, but I don't feel that he would go there.
Yeah,
Again,
that's the thing.
and number one, they feel this was, by the way, this was 7 hours ago. So this is how they feel more recently than ever. The Indianapolis Colts, they think, is the best.
I think everyone just puts the Colts at the top of every list. I think it's partly because they have a lot of salary cap.
$57.8 million.
I mean, if I'm the Colts, I would do it.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, why not? I mean, you're good.
they don't seem to be interested in these type of players. I mean, like Justin Houston, I guess, but
yeah. Well, and
I would.
their defensive line, we talked about it. I don't know when it was, but we said they were very underrated last year. You're going to just bring in another guy that's,
Yeah.
you know.
I don't see the harm in bringing in Sue.
Yeah, and with their money that they have a whole bunch of cap, I think it's going to be a pretty cheap contract, so it won't hurt them.
If I had to say a top 5, I would go Seahawks, Colts, Patriots or Cowboys, so 3 and 4, and then number 5 would probably be Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Yeah.
I would find Atlanta pretty interesting. Again, not sure about it, but it would be a nice look at.
Because I know they were very interested in Oliver in the draft, and they weren't able to get him, so that's the same position. So
That's true. That's true. I thought that was one of my crazy draft pick scenarios, was that they were going to trade up for him, but they would definitely help if they got Sue instead. I mean, it's a consolation price if anything else, but it's worth it. All right, so that is the headline segment. We got one more thing here for you guys. Comment below here if you got any questions for us. I'm going to read some of the comments you guys have already put in, but if you got questions here, put them in the comment section. We'll talk about a little bit of extra stuff before we head out. So,
yep,
I'll do that. Let's see the comments we already have here. The first comment was from Predator, Daniel Jones's ass. Well, I feel like you're here with the rest of the world today.
I feel like I've already answered that many times.
Many times. Well, how do you feel today? No, I'm kidding.
I'm actually kind of sick of talking about it.
Well, this is the last time we're going to talk about him, probably and hopefully until the season starts or when we're doing predictions in August. We'll see. Until we get that exclusive interview with Daniel Jones where he shows us all the videos of him talking about him. That'd be great. Ruben says, just the title is worth a like. Appreciate that. I like that. That's good. Dirk Kant with the Dilly to Go Vanilla. What's up? Ghost also making a joke about us says, oh, hey, look, it's BLV making fun of the Giants. What a surprise. Hey, You stick with what works, okay? If the well isn't running dry, you keep running to it. Dirk Kant says, talk about the Dolphins. I don't really know what you want me to talk about. Want us to talk about?
The Dolphins video for the draft is coming out tonight. So
hey, there you go. There you go. Perfect plug. You can go see that for your Dolphins analysis because I don't have much to tell you. Although I will say Christian Wilkins was a great pick.
It was I'll just say this. It was such a Brian Flores draft. Like, you could not have gone. They picked a fullback. That's all I'll say.
They picked a fullback. I love it. Hot Take Hockey. John was on here for a little bit. He said, what's going on here? Yes, a podcast, Mr. John. I don't know if he's still in here, but okay, there was a bunch of comments trying to help you for the picks, including Sean Alexander.
I got that one.
But he did. You got it eventually. I liked it. Let's see. Scroll down here a little bit. No, Eddie Fat Lace Lacey. That's messed up. By the way, he's the new employee. He's the new general manager at my Burger King over here. I don't know if you guys know that, but doing quite well for himself. They've had to restrict him on the fries, but he's doing well. Predator says, regardless of Daniel Jones, the other draft picks were pretty meh. He thinks he didn't think the Giants did all that great in the picks. But if you want to know, this guy over here has their rating in his video, so you can go check that out. I didn't think it was a great draft either. I thought it was pretty mediocre.
I actually gave them a higher grade than I thought. Not going to spoil.
Not going to spoil. You guys got to check that out for yourself. Jaden says favorite YouTuber. Thank you. We appreciate it.
That's a great compliment. Thank you for that.
It is. Giants are horrible. Durkant says, to be honest, my Cowboys aren't that bad. Well, I don't know if I'm supposed to take that as a compliment or what, but thanks, I guess. Where are you guys from? Well, I'm from Dallas, close to Dallas. And Vancouver.
Vancouver.
Yeah, Vancouver. Just always weird. Every time I tell somebody we're on a YouTube channel, I'm like, yeah, they're from Canada. They're like, what? How is that? How is that possible? I'm like, hey, I guess I got to explain all of it, but it is funny to see the reactions. Ex-Philly fighter says, on paper, the Eagles are the best team in the NFC East. Well, I mean, as Mitch said, they're the number one team in the NFC, according to him, in talent. And I think they're pretty up there. I think they're up there. He also says Giants are 6-10 at best.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. I think I would agree with that.
At best, yeah.
It's funny because they were 3-13 2 years ago, and then last year we're like, or no, it was 2 years ago. We're like, okay, NFC champions, or NFC championship game. They're gonna do great. 3-13, and then the next year, they can make a step up.
All Eli's fault, by the way.
Just all Eli's fault. And then we're like, okay, Saquon and Odell, they're getting it done. 5-11. Well, I guess maybe they're going up. Maybe they're only going up. Maybe one game. But
so if you had to say like who's more likely to make the playoffs, Giants or Redskins, who would you pick?
Redskins, 100%.
Is this just going off the fact that if Haskins plays, you think like if any plays well, you think like? Yes.
Well, and also they had a really great draft. I think there's guys that can impact them day one. If it's Case Keenum, I'm not like sold on the experiment. But
Would you rather have Colt McCoy or Case Keenum?
If I could have 20,
they're very similar.
Yeah, if I could have 2017 Case Keenum, I'm signing him up every day of the week. Like, here we go. But if I'm getting just regular old Case Keenum and Colt McCoy, I'd probably pick.
It's a battle.
Yeah, I think it would be like here you go. Let's throw it out. Let's duke it out. I'd probably pick Colt McCoy. I'm gonna be honest. Maybe that's just I loved watching Texas football back in the day. But I think A, he's a great team player. B, he still loves playing the game of football, even though he struggles at certain points. And C, I think if you just work with him for an offseason, like fully put your focus on him, I think he would get it more than Case Keenum. Maybe that's just my thing. But
I think I would still side with Case, but it's not by a lot.
Yeah, it's very close. And then at the end of the day, if we're comparing quarterbacks and if we're going to put Dwayne Haskins in here, I think he's going to do pretty well in year one.
Honestly, I think Haskins is going to be that rookie quarterback that his team is going to watch him and they're going to be like, he's the best right now. Like, we might have to put him in,
Yeah.
I think he's going to be that guy.
You think the team's
obviously starting, so.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. I hope for him. I even as a Cowboys fan, I'm like, okay, let's see what this guy does, because I think the Redskins, their management's still pretty poor, but with the team that they've got, I feel like they have better expectations. Maybe that's just me. Kansas Giants 4-12 at best. Holy. According to Philly Fighter, the Vegas has them at 5.5 on the over/under. So
I would take the under.
I would take the under. If I was going to go over, it would be only 6. Like, that's the highest I could go.
Well, because I think the Eagles and the Cowboys are probably like at least around the playoffs, if not both playoff teams.
Yeah.
And the Redskins, I think, are better. So,
yeah, I would agree.
That's just the division.
Yeah, and then you got to deal with all the other strong NFC contenders that are fighting for the other 2 wildcard spots.
Yeah.
Here's the talks about ESPN. Stephen A is the only good thing on there. He is quite entertaining. Stay off the damn weed.
He's entertaining, but he needs sleep.
He needs sleep. You like Max? Bro, I've never met anybody that likes Max Kellerman. It's a first.
I used to like Max before he was on First Take.
And now he's dreadful. He's dreadful.
Now all he does is say Brady sucks. So
guys, Brady, bro, it's over. Brady, it's over. Again, I tweeted this like I don't know how long it was. It was
Brady on Jimmy Kimmel.
I didn't get to see the segment. No, was it good?
It was pretty funny.
I'll have to check that out. But what I don't like about Max Kellerman in this particular scenario is like he's like, okay, and I tweeted this out.
He said it like 5 years ago.
Yeah, he
And he's
predicts it
sticking.
every time, every year. He's like, "All right, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen." So then what happens is that the day that Brady retires or he has like a couple of bad games to end his career, whatever it may be, he's like, "I called it. I told you so. He was gonna go down." I'm like, "Dude, he's 41 years old. I mean, eventually he's gonna have to retire. All you're doing is trying to critique him, and he's won 3 Super Bowls probably since you've said that he's gonna start declining. So I don't think it's really working in your favor." But he's also just annoying. Like at least Stephen A is entertaining. That is one good thing I'll give him. Even if he's not very factual. Derek Thomas. Let's see. See if there's any good thing else. Of course, there's the Tyreek stuff. Oh God, it's just very harsh. I mean, again, it's worth it's. I understand it. I'm just not going to read all of that. Dirk Kant says this is how he feels about the Chargers in their season. Says they could lose to Kansas City twice, at Denver, at Chicago, at Jacksonville, against the Steelers, against the Packers, and at Tennessee. I don't know how you feel about that. Oh no. Oh, he's not watching. No.
Chargers.
Oh, I still don't feel right after you did that against the Steelers game. You said no.
Oh. Well, because the Steelers should have won, and then they choked.
They choked. They choked, which was funny. It was funny. They choked their whole season, by the way. Just the whole.
Yeah, pretty much.
Durkant says Titans go 9-7 again. I always feel like the Titans are just solid at 9-7. Like they're just that's what we're checking.
Something like that. We'll have to see when we make predictions.
Yeah, coming up in the future, not the near future, but the future. Colts go 10-6, says Philly Fighter. Miguel asks us who will start Keenum or Haskins. Redskins are a sleeper team, so he sees it there. I said last week that probably Case would start, but I'm leaning more towards that Haskins will definitely start, and we'll see it in training camp. They'll give him a chance at training camp, but it just is weird, like when you sign a guy to a 2-year contract and then don't ever start him with the money that
I think it's ideal that they don't start Haskins year 1, but I think it might they might see him in training camp and be like he's so much athletically better than these other guys that they might be too impressed to not put him in. Plus, you have to think that Gruden's job is on the line. So if he can get the best out of Haskins in year number 1, then that could save his job. So that's something that also has to go through your mind, right?
Yeah, great point. I didn't think about that. Let's see. Is Bean one of the best GMs now, along with Ballard and Roseman? Love this channel, by the way. Thank you very much.
If you don't know who Bean is, Brandon Bean of the Buffalo Bills is the general manager. I would say that Belichick, Roseman, and Ballard are the 3 best GMs in the league right now. And I would say Bean is one of the best young ones. Yeah, I would say he's at least in the top half, but over the last couple of years, he's made some really nice moves. I'm looking forward to seeing what the Bills can do in the future.
Yeah, I think we've been pretty high on what the Bills have been selling us lately. So I got to give them that. They've been at least upgrading. I've seen plenty of teams we've talked about extensively today, who are just downgrading and not really focusing on their future the way that they should. And the Bills are doing it the correct way. So I got to give it up to Bean. I think he's done a good job for Buffalo, who, they always get excited. These guys are jumping off tables. Give them a chance. You know what I mean? They need to celebrate realistically for something.
Yep.
Very much for that.
Thank you, Philly Fighter, for the donation. He says, "I'll subscribe. You guys have some good knowledge." Thank you, Philly Fighter.
Thank you very much. Tina asked us, how did we start BLV? Were you guys friends prior? Well, this was Mitch's channel originally.
Dylan can explain.
Yeah. What was it? When did you start the channel? I know, was it 2013?
I was just making videos out of the basement, just rambling.
The gold drums. Yeah. So I had my own.
I think I started mine when I was in grade 11 or 12. Probably grade 11.
Okay. I didn't know that. I'm trying to think.
But I wasn't going full out YouTuber. I just kind of
Just made a video here.
I was just like goofing around.
Yeah. It was kind of the same thing. I had an old channel, and then I deleted that, and then I had my old channel, which I don't know, might still post, but that was like 2013, and then we knew this guy who's been on here for a couple of times, Anthony James TV. If you guys don't know,
he actually commented on the Vikings video I made.
Did he?
Yeah.
Nice. I wonder how he felt because he was very negative about it on Twitter.
He was like, thanks. I agree with your analysis and stuff like that. I was like, thanks, Anthony. You're the best.
Nice. You guys, if you guys haven't seen him, he was on a couple of picks videos like last year. Maybe it was 2 seasons.
Maybe we'll have to have him on 1 week.
Ooh, there's another. I didn't even think about that. We should
get some guests on the picks this year.
We really do. We didn't get any this year.
We should try that this year.
I think we got a couple of guys in mind. Don't worry, guys.
I'm actually gonna write down some guys.
And I definitely have a couple of people in mind for the podcast in the future. Like I mentioned before, I've got a few lining up, including one I'm hoping for in episode 5. So that's like 3 weeks.
Do I know this already or no?
Oh God, that just like got loud all of a sudden. No, but I'm working on it. Like I don't want. But that is the first week I get out of class. Like that Friday is like the week after I get out of class. So, put in more effort in there. Not effort, but
maybe we should have a podcast with the coach.
The coach? Oh, that sounds great. We could just talk about Cowboys stuff for an hour and a half.
No, I'm out.
But to finish the story, so we knew Anthony James TV. We talked about wrestling back in the day. I'm not saying that we don't kind of still see wrestling, but it's not nearly as fun as it once was. So we did mostly like wrestling and a little bit of football. And then he did a wrestling channel together, and we met each other for the first time. And then it was Raw Christmas Eve 2013. It's like, you want to collab? I'm like, yeah, sure, let's do it. Never met you before. And then the collaboration happened. It was a terrible episode of Raw, but it was fun to rag on something like that. And then just kept doing more and more videos until I joined. Now it's 4 years. Holy shit, it's been 4 years. Just to think about it, that was when I was in my sophomore year of high school when I joined. And now I'm in my sophomore year of college. So it's a long time. It's a good story. When did I miss the best comment of the stream? What do you mean, John? I don't know what you mean by that. Are you telling me that Haskins is not a running quarterback, says Predator, in a joke to Stephen A. Smith? Oh my God, he's so mobile. I mean, with this body frame, apparently he can do it all with his 102 yards. Tina says Cowboys will beat the Eagles twice again. Oh, I love that. I'm not saying we will, but I love that. Philly Fighter with the donation, thank you. Yes, subscribe to us. We've had a good intake the last couple of days because of all those draft videos for Mitch. Putting in that work. I gotta give it up. That is very difficult. Just how long that takes to do. Not even the filming process, but getting all the tags and the descriptions and all that stuff. So
that's the worst part.
It sucks. It sucks. What are your thoughts on the offseason moves the Chiefs have done? Torn between what they're doing next season. Are you as well? Well, Mitch is a little bit down on it, but I mean, in terms of the people they got, the thing is like they lost a lot of people, but they gained a good amount of people. So it kind of like evens out in a way, but also
it's hard to know because they're justifying the moves they've made based off of the scheme switches they've made on defense, which is kind of odd because in the NFL, like now you don't really play like 4-3 or 3-4. And like that's the whole justification for what they've been doing defensively. Like that's why they traded D4. That's why they got rid of Justin Houston. Like pass rushers are pass rushers today. Like you don't really need 3-4 outside linebackers or defensive ends. It's just like, okay, you line up and you get after the quarterback. And a lot of it's nickel, a lot of it's sub package. So it's a lot different. But if I had to say, I think while I was down on them at the beginning, I think Frank Clark was a good move, even though they paid him a lot of money.
Wow.
Alex Okafor's under move. I'm not in love with Ogba, but it was a decent depth trade. They then looking at it, I would have liked to seen them address their linebacking core a little bit better. They didn't do that, and I definitely would have liked to have seen them bring in a corner, which they only brought in Bashad Breeland, and he basically didn't even play last year. So I don't even know, like, their secondary could arguably be worse, which is not a good thing, like, when it was so bad last year. Like, Tyrann Mathieu is going to help them, and he's going to give them an Eric Berry that actually hopefully plays. But at the same time, the corners are so bad that it doesn't have me, like, really sparked up. So if I had to say anything, I think they're going to be better against the run this year. I think the coaching with Spagnuolo is going to be better defensively, which is in the end going to make them a better defense. But when they have to play those teams that are passing against them, they're going to struggle, because if they can't get to the quarterback initially, those corners are going to be left out to dry. And that's something that has me concerned. Maybe they go to more of a zone-based defense and they try and fix it like that. But even then, as we've seen with some teams, you need to be able to play man-to-man in moments to be able to throw off an offense and to be able to be tight on receivers. So we'll see with the defense. Offensively, they've definitely gotten worse. I don't think there's any real thought about that, especially if Tyree Kill leaves. Then, they lost Hunt last year. They lost Mitch Morse, who's one of the better centers in the league. So they definitely did get worse on offense. But they're still good enough on offense to the point where they can still be a top 5 offense, and there's no real question about that. It's just the defense that has me, like, up in the air as to what they're going to be. Because if it's improved and the offense takes a slight back, then they're about generally the same team. If their offense takes a step back and their defense is the same, then I don't even know if they're near the same team they were last year. That's kind of what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, definitely agreed there. So in terms of the rushing and passing teams, they can beat Baltimore, but they can't beat a team like the Patriots. I don't know. They can anyways. They lost twice.
Yeah,
that's kind of how it will go. What do you think? Let's see. We got 2 more questions here. Do you guys think Green Bay is going to get back into the playoffs? Azid asked. I know you are.
I am very high on the Packers.
I don't know, man. Like,
I still think the NFC is so competitive that I'm not going to say for sure, but I'm probably going to pick them to make the playoffs. Yeah.
Okay. It's so tight. I still think the Bears are going to win their division. If I'm going off of May 3rd, 2019, I feel like they are doing well in that race. But then it's just such a competitive 5 or 6 teams right there, having to face for it. And my biggest thing is I want to see Matt LaFleur coach this team.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's a lot of great talent there. They did help their defense a lot. They didn't get a great receiver again, which is something that's kind of a concern for me. Like, they got Devontae Adams, but who else do you have? But I need to see Matt LaFleur coach this team because I don't trust him right now. I don't. As a Tennessee Titans offensive coordinator, what did he do to improve that team? Nothing. So I want to see what he does here. But they're definitely in the conversation. Don't get me wrong. When Aaron Rodgers is still there, they're going to be talked about whether or not he's going to make it or not. And now that they have a new coach, we'll see what happens. Last question from Carlos. Top 5 running backs coming into the year, this upcoming season. So ranked.
Ooh. Well, you'll see on our top 100 sort of where we have them ranked. And I'm not sure if I'm going to do positional rankings as well. We'll see. If there's enough demand for it, I'll do it. But I would go Saquon number 1.
Oh, Saquon number 1. Okay.
Saquon number 1. Number 2. I don't know about Gurley because he's hurt. And
Gurley's
I don't know if you need top 5 if he's hurt. So
yeah, he can't be top 5 if he's hurt. I don't know.
So I'm going to remove Gurley from the conversation. Is that allowed?
I'll allow it. I think it's
okay. Fine. But I think regardless, Barkley's number 1. Number 2, Zeke. Number 3 is tough. I would say Bell, but he hasn't played for an entire year.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put Bell in there. I don't know if he's 3rd, 4th, or 5th, but I think he's there still.
I think he's 5 just because I haven't seen him in a year. You know what I mean? Like, once he plays, it might be different, but.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, last year, David Johnson wasn't a top 5 back, but he definitely could be this year, so he's sort of in the conversation.
I wasn't sold, but he could be.
Other than that, I think the last two, if I had to like gun to my head, if I had to say like these two guys, I would go Christian McCaffrey.
Yep, definitely.
And I just don't want to miss anybody, so I'm going through the team.
Go through all those teams. What, James Conner?
No.
I know.
Definitely not him. I think it's Kamara.
If we're not going to include Todd Gurley on this list, I think it's definitely. Yeah. Okay. Let me look at my 32 teams.
If there, okay, other names I'll throw out there for you. Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, he's definitely like top 8 for sure. No question.
Mixon. I think Dalvin Cook's gonna have a big year, but I'm not gonna put him there yet.
Yeah, he definitely. I think he can. I just need to see it.
Yeah, and I think David Johnson would be the other one. I think that's about the top 10.
There you go. There's a rough top 10. We got the top 5 list. There's a couple of others. Yeah, I like all of those running backs. Gurley's just a weird one because you saw what happened in the playoffs, and if it's like that bad of an injury, where
Darius Geis number 1, I forgot.
Okay, with that note, we will. Oh God, they will not. No Darius Geis allowed in this house. Anyways, yeah, I think that was a good list though. So that's gonna do it for us. Thank you guys for watching episode 2 of the podcast. We do this weekly. If I see laugh at the Darius Geis comment, I appreciate that. If you guys enjoyed, smash it. Gronk spike the like button, not just smash it. Gronk spike the like button because that shows us if you liking the series or not, liking this podcast. We're gonna be back on next week. Obviously, it's weekly. Every single week we'll be back here for a new podcast. And of course, subscribe to the Bottom Line View for more football content. Mitch, I know you got a couple of more draft videos.
Oh, those draft videos tonight. Mm-hmm. They are going to be coming fast and furious Vin Diesel.
Oh, Vin Diesel, like, oh. All right. Anything else? You got any other things coming up, or you just focus on the draft, getting those draft videos up?
Draft is first, and then after that, I'm looking just like more NFL content, like not draft related whatsoever. I'm moving away from the draft after the draft grade stuff. Then I'm going into hopefully starting some fantasy stuff and also just like general lists and sort of stuff like that.
All right, sounds good. I like all that content. You guys are going to get a lot of it. I promise you. If you have not seen the 26 videos that have come out in the last 2 days, you need to go check those out. You're going to get all your draft analysis. Hold on. We had a 4-hour live stream, and then we talked about it on the podcast, 2 of them, and then we talked about it. You talked about it for all 32 bits. So if you want every draft analysis in the world, you can check out those videos and more football content very soon. So thank you guys for watching. Peace out.
Peace.